I could tell you what would my concern would be. My concern would be he's not George Kittle, or he's not Brock Bowers.
Do you know who Jeremy Shockey is? You've got him on your team. He's Cole Kmet. So I went and looked back at all the drafts since 1988.
You looked at every one of them
Every
since
draft since 1988.
So that's
the
what he's
first
been
round to assess exactly what the tight end situation was.
No wonder why he wanted me to play that Louis Riddick so badly.
The
It's
only
2.5
time,
minutes. Because normally he's like, Louis Riddick, what do I care what he has to say? He's like, hey, Carmen, play that Louis Riddick.
The only time two tight ends were drafted in the top 15 was 1992, as I pointed out.
You pointed it was Derek
Johnny
Brown
Mitchell
and Johnny Mitchell.
and Derek Brown.
Good call,
Johnny
by you.
Mitchell at 14, Derek Brown at 15. There's only been one time in the last 37, 38 years that three tight ends were picked in the first round.
In the first
Can
round.
you name that year? Okay, that's going to be difficult. I will give you one of the tight ends that were taken.
Okay, this is a first-round tight end.
In the 28th pick, the Seattle Seahawks took Jeremy Stevens, tight end.
I remember Jeremy Stevens.
Remember
Was
Jeremy
that
Stevens?
circa 2000.
Married Hope Solo.
Did you just give me the year, or am I crazy? Did you say
I didn't.
2008?
No, I didn't give you 2008. No,
I'm
sir.
asking, though, because it would help me.
That is not 2008.
So there are two other tight ends that were taken.
Two other tight ends taken earlier in that
Right,
draft.
I'm going to guess Jimmy Graham.
Daniel Graham. Not Jimmy Graham. Daniel Graham, 21st pick by the New England Patriots. And this individual shares a birthday with me, the next tight end.
So what year was this? Like Jeremy Stevens and Daniel Graham. If I had the year, it'd
2002.
2002.
Name the first guy that
I was
came
6
in.
years off.
Yeah. First guy. Drafted by the New York Football Giants.
Drafted by the Giants. Jeremy Shockey.
Jeremy Shockey shares a birthday with Johnny
Does he
Handsome.
really? There
yeah.
you go.
It's the only time since 1988 that three tight ends were taken in the first round.
Pretty rare.
Now, when Laporta was drafted, it was like they had three tight ends picked in, and the kid from Notre Dame was picked there also in the first, 36 picks. Because two went in the second round right away, Laporta and Michael
Mayer. Michael Meyer.
Whatever his name is. And there was another guy
in Vegas.
a little bit earlier than him that went at the end of the first round.
Yeah.
They had three in the first 35 picks.
So it's rare.
It's the only time. Yes, it is very rare. There are drafts that I went over the last 35, five of them probably, that no tight end was taken in the first round.
That's not a shocker.
Not tight ends, not an important position.
I've seen, for Tyler Warren, I've seen an NFL comp to Jeremy Shockey before. So if he's Jeremy Shockey, is it worthy of a top 10 pick?
I mean, Shockey was good, right? Jeremy Shockey was a good player.
Or are you expecting drafting Tyler Warren that high? Are you expecting more out of a tight end?
37 touchdowns.
Jeremy Shockey was the 14th pick, to Chris's point.
Yeah.
14th. Shockey did make 4 Pro Bowls. He was a one-time All-Pro. He scored 37 career touchdowns.
He played on those Super Bowl teams, too.
Yes.
The Giants.
The Giants.
I think
they went to the Super Bowl, and then he was on the New Orleans Saints when they won the Super Bowl. He went to a Super Bowl with the Giants.
I got you.
I believe. And then I think he did.
He was in New Orleans on the 8th.
But he was on
08, 9, 10. He was in New Orleans, Carolina in 2011.
I don't know. Would that be good enough? I mean, Shockey was a good player, obviously, but I feel like if you're drafting a tight end 10, man, you better be getting Gronk or Brock Bowers or Sam Laporta.
10 years.
Like, I don't know. You better be getting an George Kittle. Like, you need to get.
Never a 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, and a little different back then when he played. But.
Never a double-digit touchdown season. He played when Gronk played, didn't he?
No, he was out of the league by 2011. Remember, he got drafted in 2002, so Shockey was out by 2011. Well, so slightly different, but I don't know. I think you'd have to be getting such an unbelievable stud to be spending a 10th pick on a tight end. Like you'd have to be getting George Kittle. Maybe he is. I don't know. I'm not. I can't tell you that he won't be. I could tell you what would my concern would be. My concern would be he's not George Kittle, or he's not Brock Bowers.
Do you know who Jeremy Shockey is? You've got him on your team. He's Cole Kmet. That's who he is.
I think Shockey was a little better than Kmet.
No.
No way. Shockey is much better than
Kmet. I would say Shockey was better.
Negative. Look
I
at
don't
the
know
numbers.
Compare the numbers.
Yeah,
You
look
got
at
the numbers.
No, I don't. I've already moved on from him. I've given you who this guy was.
I would say Shockey was a little bit better, but
They did cross over a little bit. 2010.
Oh, they did?
Is
Gronk
when
came in
Gronk
2010?
first came into the league. So they had 2 years.
All right, now
where
go
they
back to the
crossed
numbers.
over a little bit.
Go back to the numbers. No one cares about Gronk.
I love Gronk. What
Go
are you
back to the
talking about?
go back to the numbers.
I would think Shockey's a little bit better than Kmet. I don't think it's like crazy.
He was a how many time Pro Bowler
He
and
was a
a
four-time
All-Pro
Pro Bowler.
and an All-Pro?
And he was an All-Pro one year.
Come on, Cole Kmet
no,
for
Hold
what he
on,
could
though.
produce
Hold on,
hasn't
though.
even come close.
What was he an All-Pro at? Give me his numbers when he was an All-Pro to tell you that. Hey, sometimes they got to vote for somebody at the tight end position.
He was an All-Pro as a rookie.
That's an all-time.
No, go ahead. What were his numbers?
All right.
Go
This is
ahead.
an all-time Jurko.
It was
I love
70.
this.
It was 74 catches for 894 yards and only two touchdowns.
Pro Bowler.
He was an All-Pro.
Get out of here.
But the league was different then. I'm telling you.
Somebody's got to make it.
I know you say 02. That's 23 years ago. Like, it was different.
Cole Kmet.
Those numbers were pretty good for a tight end in 2002. Those numbers today you'd look at and you'd go, that's Cole Kmet. Like, he's okay. But 74 catches for 894 in 2002, those are big tight end numbers.
The stud tight ends are catching balls, and they're catching it for 13, 14 yards a clip.
I know. He was at 12.1, by the way.
And they're getting double-digit touchdowns. That's what they're doing.
He was at 12.1 that year for yards per catch.
73, 719, 6 touchdowns.
All of this
73 receptions, 719 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That was 2023 for Cole Kmet. Is that better than any year?
But it's so hard to compare.
Yeah, it's hard to compare.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll go back to the early 2000s, and we'll start doing some comparing. Let me get some Tony Gonzalez numbers up.
Tony Gonzalez is in the Hall of Fame.
No, we're looking at you said he was an All-Pro. Let me get Tony Gonzalez's number up.
Someone in the Twitch chat called him cold cement, and I'm never going to be able to. I'm never going to be able to call him anything but else.
Here, do you want Tony Gonzalez's numbers in 2002? You ready?
Sure.
63 catches, 773 yards. He did have 7 touchdowns. He had fewer yards and fewer catches than Jeremy Shockey. He was an established 3-time All-Pro. He was on his way to the Hall of Fame. That's what tight end numbers looked like back then. 800 yards, about 11 and a half yards a catch. That's a long time ago. It's different.
2000, 93 receptions, 1,203 yards.
That was an amazing
13-yard
year.
average. 9 touchdowns. The year before that, he had 11 touchdowns.
I know he had 894.
76
But you see what I'm saying about the
84
yards and the catches, though? Like
he had 10 touchdowns and 1,058 yards in 2008.
But a lot of what I'm saying
So
is,
my point was, that year, nobody did anything, and they had to give the award to somebody.
Here's what I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
A lot of,
That's all I'm saying. Somebody had to be put in there.
the game changes
It's
rapidly.
like the jumbo shrimp.
The game changes rapidly. And what I'm saying is, some of Tony Gonzalez's seasons look like Cole Kmet seasons today. Nobody would ever confuse Cole Kmet for Tony Gonzalez. It's just a drastically different league and a different game. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm looking at plenty of Tony Gonzalez seasons, 621 yards, 849 yards, 773 yards, 917 yards. That's pretty good.
When Carmen says that time, what'd you say to me about when it happened? Tight end was so much different then, right?
I would say the game is a lot different.
Yeah, was the game different in 1983?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You give me
Todd,
Marino's numbers?
Todd Christensen was throwing for 92.
Todd Christensen was a stud.
No,
he was a stud.
Nope. 92
Unfair.
receptions,
He was a stud.
1,247 yards, averaged 13.6 a catch, 12 touchdowns.
He was an outlier, though.
This
you have
is
to admit.
1983, though,
You
Carmen.
have to admit he was an outlier for his era. He was awesome.
Kellen Winslow played
Kellen
at the
was
same
awesome, too.
time, though.
Okay, so this entire
Is it a different era?
conversation,
Or is exceptional tight end play, and mediocre tight end play is mediocre tight end play?
But do you see what I'm saying
it
about,
has
like,
nothing to do with when people play.
But do you see what I'm saying about Kmet and Gonzalez? Like,
it just has to do with the quality of tight end play. That's all.
Call him
Carmen,
by
you're
his
right.
proper name, cold cement.
Jurko, I think you're making a solid point, and I think the conclusion here is that Tyler Warren is essentially a lesser Cole Kmet, and we already have Cole Kmet,
and
therefore we should not select a tight end.
Thank you. No Cole Cement.
I wouldn't draft him at
Is
10.
that his name?
Yeah.
Cole Cement.
Cold
That's
cement.
great. I
Cold
always compare
cement.
it to a vehicle trying
I
to
love
do a 3-point turn in the middle of the football field. Because like he can't turn and run.
It's the Austin Powers.
He has a hard time with it.
He has to do a 3-point turn whenever he is trying to turn up the football field.
You know, and even if Carmen is right, I'm going to argue.
I'm not saying I'm right.
I understand, but I'm going to argue with you no matter what.
It's so different. I think when you do try to compare eras, it gets a little tricky. Yep. And of course, Tony Gonzalez was better. I would never say such a thing that Cole's the same as Gonzalez. Gonzalez is brilliant. As good as anybody I've ever seen. Right. But the numbers are going to always look a little different. And I think to the point about Shockey, that's a good year for a tight end in 2002. When a tight end had nearly 900 yards,
but the point is
75 catches,
you have to. My point was you have to give out an All-Pro every single year.
I know what you mean. I know.
When nobody's doing anything, somebody has to receive the award, which was my point originally.
Yeah.
I hearken now back to the 1980 San Diego season where Kellen Winslow, with exceptional tight end play, 89 receptions, 1,290 yards in 9 TDs. That's an exceptional
That's exception.
tight end. Right. That's an all-pro season. When you come at me with mediocre numbers, I say that tight end had a mediocre year.
You're talking about the Shockey year in 2002.
Yes, it may have been a better year than everybody else, but it does not have anything to do with the way the game was being played at the time because tight ends have been producing numbers, the top guys, at an alarming rate since the 80s.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
Winslow and Christensen were all-time
All
players.
pros.
I don't even know that Christensen made the Hall. Did he or did he?
I don't know if he did or didn't.
I feel like he's gotten shortchanged for some reason. It wasn't
because of his hair.
I don't know.
Yeah, it must have been
I
his
feel
hair.
like he's gotten shortchanged and he's not in, which is a travesty. I might be wrong about that. They might have done right and put him in.
No, they didn't. I'm on his page.
Yeah,
There's nothing that says
crazy.
that he's exceptional. It's not on here.
Because he was awesome back in the day.
Out of Belafonte, Pennsylvania, Carm.